And we are live with Spot Dodge, a live Nintendo podcast where every single week we react to the latest Nintendo news and talk about the games we are playing. Today's going to be a fun show. We're going to talk about the remaining games in 2022 because surprisingly, even though we're mid-November right now, there's still some heavy hitters on the way that I'm pretty damn excited about. And it's actually kind of strange to have so many awesome games this late in the year. It seems like it's starting to become the norm. But with me today is, as always, Mary Stowe, social media manager and host here at Destructoid. With her is John Frisha, indie developer and managing editor at The Escapist. With him is Brett Larson, the King Daddy Dilf of the podcast. And right beside him, or slightly on his lap, is Greg Bargas, PC Invasion writer and streamer over at Dynamite Giraffe. And lastly, we have Eric on the ones and twos, streaming the show live from his supercomputer. Thank you, Eric, for being the master behind this show. Now, guys.
Did you just say slightly on his lap?
Yes.
Did you mean to say that?
Well, how would I accidentally say that? Like,
I thought you meant to say slightly on his. I thought you meant to say slightly on his left and accidentally said lap. So
I meant lap.
Wow.
Slipped. That's how I got on his lap. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. So I wanted to do an opening topic today, talking about the upcoming games that are still left in the year, because it seems like video games have been kind of crazy lately for like the past few weeks. We've gotten Call of Duty, Bayonetta. We just recently got apparently a 10 out of 10 game, Pentiment, along with Somerville, along with Pokemon in just a few days, which we're going to talk about. It just seems like there's so many games coming out. So I wanted to highlight the rest of the games coming out this year. First, let's hop on in to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet coming out later this week on November 18th. Now, we've obviously talked about these games a lot on the show. Most of the time, we're just trashing them, let's be honest. But I wanted to...
Plenty left to go.
I wanted to go down the line because I personally have finally decided that I don't think I'm going to pick this game up at launch. It's the first Pokemon game in... frickin' since the Switch came out, I believe that I have not bought it at launch, and I think it's because 3 mainline games in the span of 12 months is just too much for me. Like, I love Pokemon, but there's so many other games coming out right now where it's like, do I even have the time or the urge to play Pokemon right now with all these other games? And my honest answer is I don't think I do. Unless it comes out and gets like rave reviews that are just absolutely like, this is the brand new future for Pokemon. It's incredible. If that happens, then maybe I'll have FOMO and I'll be like, yes, I'm going to buy it. I'm an idiot.
This game is the second coming. It's literally Jesus in digitized form.
Exactly.
I saw that game's coming out. I am Jesus Christ. Looks fun.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But, yeah, so I wanted to go down the line. I think I already know Brett Larson's answer, which is he has no interest in Pokemon at all. And probably John's as well. But John and Brett, share your thoughts a little bit on like how you're feeling about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And do you feel like there's sort of not much hype as usual with a new Pokemon game? Because that's what I'm feeling a little bit.
I think there's a lot of hype, actually. But you go ahead, Brett.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say real quickly, Brett, be honest. The only reason you're not getting it at launch is because last week I said I'm not gonna split it with you.
Exactly. And I actually asked Greg, I think it was today. I said, hey, do you want to go halvesies on Pokemon? I refuse to spend $60 right now on Pokemon. I just don't want to.
Did he mean to text me?
I thought for some reason that you were somewhat of a Pokemon fan. I hadn't realized that you did not play any of them.
If Arceus hadn't come out so recently, I would actually probably do it because I'm all for still splitting games because I may be lying to myself, but I still think at some point I'm going to play some of these that I split and then just like have in my library and haven't touched yet. So I do.
That's a lot too.
But for me, I know that if I'm going to play any Pokemon, it's going to be Arceus. So it would just be a waste for me to even purchase it, to be honest. But yeah, man, it's like John said, I think Pokemon fans are excited about it still, but it just still is so odd to me that there's another Pokemon title out. And how long ago was Arceus? 5 months ago?
Like
and
9.
Didn't we talk about that was okay, so that was a little bit longer, but there was another game between those two, wasn't it?
Oh, it was like 11.
Yeah, that's true. That was right at the beginning of the year. Never mind. So there was something in between those two.
There was a remake that came out right before
right.
Arceus.
Yeah, it was like November 2021.
So literally in the span of 12 months, we've gotten 3 mainline Pokemon games. One of them being a brand new direction, and the other one being a remake, and then this new one being a sort of a combination of old and new. So yeah, it's just a lot, you know.
They've done 3 Pokemon games in a year, and the team that did Gotham Knights, it took them 10 years to
put out one game.
Straight duty bomb too.
Well, technically, I believe the remake was done by a different studio, the one Diamond and Pearl remakes, but
That's right.
still, it's still too much Pokemon in the span of 12 months, in my opinion. It used to feel more special. Like I was saying, I think last episode, like there wasn't always a new Pokemon game every single year. There used to be gaps, like believe it or not. There wasn't always a remake that came out in a year. There wasn't always a brand new generation. We used to have full on gaps in years, like sometimes 2 years, 3 years. But
or there'd at least be like a Pokemon Yellow sort of deal.
Yeah, or that, which is honestly, I'm surprised they didn't end up doing that with which ones was it?
Sword and Shield.
Yeah, Sword and Shield. I'm surprised they didn't end up doing like Pokemon Armor or something. I don't know. Pokemon Gun.
There was that one newspaper, and I forget, was it like South America, where like they got the wrong, like they believed just random info on the internet, so they published that Pokemon Gun was coming.
Oh my god!
Sword and Shield.
that is hilarious.
Yeah, we missed out.
Yes.
I love that.
But
yeah,
I just don't get how like they cannot be like self-aware that like with anything, you know, I hate how that's like the mentality now, especially like Call of Duty. You know, the mentality is like, oh, you love this thing, here's like 50,000 more of the same in the same year. I hope you buy
but at
them
least
all.
we're only getting one game though in the span of a year. You know, like you're only getting one release. Yeah, you're getting
but it's still
season passes, and you're getting like the new.
For
like
Call
you
of
put
Duty,
yourself into a corner though. You have to only buy and play that one every year.
I mean, you could still play the old one if you want, but I feel like with Call of Duty, as someone who plays the campaign and then usually plays multiplayer for like a month before I'm done, by the time the next one rolls around the next year, I'm actually like, yeah, all right, yeah, I'm ready for another Call of Duty. But with Pokemon, it's more of a dedication to play through a full Pokemon game. So by the time another Pokemon game rolls around and it's only been 11 months, and then before that it's only been like 2 months before the remake, it's like I feel like I don't want to play a Pokemon game right now. I think I'd rather just play through one of the very many JRPGs in my backlog that are amazing, that I know or that I'm going to love, whereas I'm probably not going to love this new Pokemon, if I'm being honest.
Oof. Ouch. I'm disgusted and hurt. This franchise means so much to me.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, in a way, this might end up being kind of like the limit case for what Pokemon can do. Like the fact that we've had so many in close proximity, and yet, aside from perhaps Arceus itself, like this kind of looks like maybe the most appealing Pokemon's been in a while. Like the fact that it's like genuinely doing an open world now, like will it be like a good, successful open world? I have no idea. But like this is like the so-called dream of open world Pokemon that people have been clamoring for. So that might be able to mitigate the fact that we've gotten so much in such a small window. And also, I mean, I don't know how many of these people there actually are, but I'm sure there was some contingent of people that were like, oh, I don't like Arceus because it's not regular Pokemon. So like to those people, like they're probably like extra hyped for Scarlet and Violet, that like finally now they have their quote unquote new Pokemon at last after like 2 years or whatever. So
yeah,
I mean, the one thing that no matter what happens, it's gonna sell gangbusters. Like we're not idiots. We recognize that.
Please let it be known that we know it's going to sell good.
Yeah.
All right.
Like,
and that's why it won't ever change.
You guys don't
Right.
that.
That's why it won't change.
The comments are all. That's the first thing they point out. Is that it's going to sell like a. I know that.
Yeah.
I'm talking from an artist, a creator's perspective.
Yeah.
Change is good. New ideas is good. I don't think that if they never changed anything, it's going to continue to sell amazing. We understand that, but we're wanting change. We're wanting like better visuals, all that stuff. It doesn't mean that we don't know that it's not like Pokemon's dying. We don't think Pokemon is dying. So just to make it clear,
like any Marvel movie is going to sell well, besides Morbius. and people are
Yeah.
still going to buy it. But it's like
Anything,
you're allowed to have a critical eye and observe things about this franchise or changes that need to be made or things that people want. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, there's still room for Pokemon to grow to evolve, I guess you could
Ooh.
say. But like
Mr. Never played
like,
Mr. Never played a Pokemon game before.
it just seems like the same though. As many times as we have this conversation, it's like the same topics that keep coming up though. So
yeah.
We
could probably just
always
move on.
I just always use this same like comparison to like Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed did what it did for so long that it became stale, and I think people to a certain degree started voting with their wallets with Assassin's Creed because the numbers were decreasing and the scores were getting lower. Other than the last one of like the old classic Assassin's Creed, what was that? That one was really well critically received. Which one was
Syndicate?
That one did really well critically, but it didn't make a lot of money. So then they kind of went back to the drawing board, took a couple of years off and came back. And like this new formula, I personally am totally on board with. I know some people don't love the new formula, but I like it. But sometimes it takes that going back to the drawing board and coming back and just changing enough about the game that you love to reinvent it. And it sounds like they may be doing that with Call of Duty to a certain degree. I know they're taking at least 1 year off that we know of. So we'll see how much they really change things, or if it's just like they're kind of just, trying to retool a little bit. But I just think it would do us some good to take some time away and like make some significant changes and come back and just see how it goes. But
isn't that a rumor right now? A new premium Call of Duty in 2023?
Well,
yeah.
So they phrased it that way, but Jason Schreier says that it's basically just going to be like a really, really big DLC for Modern Warfare 2. That it will not be a brand new game. Like maybe it's possible it could be like a standalone somehow, but like Schreier
so you're just going to be like
a continuation of that.
It'll basically just be like an extension of like a premium extension of
because like it's hard because like I can't remember the last Call of Duty I bought, but even like Vanguard, Cold War, those are all still recent Call of Duty games. Like I don't feel like
ancient.
Yeah, those are old.
In the past.
Those are old.
Those are long gone.
Put a nail in the coffin. Those fuckers are dead, man.
It'd be different if Call of Duty, you could like if it took like a long time to beat the campaigns and to like, but like I don't know. I just feel like I'm ready for a new Call of Duty every time one comes out. But
that's one. Sorry, John.
I'll make it quick. I went to New York Comic-Con. I guess this was last year. Yeah, I think it was last year. And they were talking about Call of Duty Vanguard, and it was a panel that had the writers of the game there, and they were talking about how much they loved creating those characters in that world, and that they had the story plans for the next 2 games, and they were really passionate about it. And then the game comes out, and like everybody was like, "This story sucks."
Oh my god,
that's got to be just demoralizing.
Yeah, so I was like, wow. So I bet these guys feel really good about the fact that they're probably never going to write these sequels that they want to do.
Like, man, that sucks.
Sucks. So
Mary, hype level on Pokemon? Are you buying it? No, yes.
No.
You're not?
Ouch.
And don't you usually buy them?
I bought the Diamond Pearl remakes, hated it, and then I never bought Arceus. And then I was just like, I don't know. I haven't felt the hype. Like the Pokemon are cute. I'm excited about those, but I don't have a desire to play it. Like I think it looks boring. I think the terastallizing thing is stupid.
Oh, it looks stupid to me too.
I think they're running out of gimmicks, and I'm like, I think they're running out of ideas. Basically,
it kind of sucks that I know this game's gonna end up selling like better than all the previous ones because it's so different that even though it's basically the same, but it's an open world and it's the traditional gyms and stuff. So people are gonna like be like, oh my god, they're going back to like gyms and it's open world and everyone's gonna be excited. But I kind of wish just 1 year a Pokemon game would just sell really bad. So the Game Freak really has to go back to
that's
the
what I'm saying. Like,
and be
vote with your wallet.
Like Anthem with BioWare.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't talk about it.
We don't talk about Anthem.
Well, for real though, I remember the stories. Like, honestly, these were probably like Schreier Kotaku articles from back in the day, where when Dragon Age Inquisition came out and everybody really liked it, apparently the BioWare staff was like kind of like dismayed about it because like they crunched so hard on it and like almost killed themselves getting that game done. And when the game was a big success, they were like, ah, crap. So what? This justifies like this death march that we went on. So then they went and did it all again with Anthem, and that was finally the straw that broke the camel's back when the thing just turned out to be kind of garbage.
I just gotta say,
Pretty game though.
With Inquisition, that game was loved when it came out. Now, everyone hates it. It seems like that's what it seems like.
Yeah, everyone's like,
it won Game of the Year the year it came out. Now it's like that game's too bloated. The story sucks. Blah blah blah. I'm like, guys, this game was really good. Like,
that was a good game. Dragon Age 2 sucks.
Yeah,
game that I was
doesn't suck.
Addicted to.
Exactly.
Total garbage that I played nonstop till I beat it.
I just think 2 was very interesting. I don't think it sucked. I think it just wasn't what I was expecting.
Well, it was just rushed is the problem.
Definitely. It's
going through those same 2 side dungeons over and over.
Yeah.
But the way they had to build a game around only having 2 side dungeons was really interesting to me. Like the whole game takes place in a town, basically. All the story, all the side quests, you're running around this town for the most part.
Yeah, very good concept. Just like very rushed execution to go with it. So I was like, yeah. So it's just faster to say it was garbage.
Yeah, exactly.
Dragon Age Inquisition won so many awards.
Yeah, it won Game of the Year.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 awards.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's more a product of the competition from that year, though, because I don't remember there being like any like crazy releases that year.
That was 2014, right?
Was that the year that PlayStation 4
2014 or
launched?
2015?
It was 2014.
Yeah, PS4 launched 2014, and there was like
2013.
As far as like exclusives from them, they had like Second Son, like infamous Second Son, and I was Killzone.
Bayonetta 2 came out that year. That should have won Game of the Year.
So yeah, I mean, there wasn't like any like mind-numbing games that came out that year. So
I think that's something that I actually looked up recently. 2014 is always talked about as being like so bad, but I believe after I went down the list, I was like, it was a pretty good year. And then I went to 2015. That was a really bad year.
That was the bad year. Yeah, me and you talked about this. I remember that conversation.
I think there's like 2 notable games in 2015. But I mean,
maybe we could make that a podcast episode someday. What was the crappiest year of like?
Actually, I take it back. I'm getting mixed up. I think it was 2016. Yeah,
2015 is The Witcher 3 and Metal Gear
and
Solid
Bloodborne.
5. That was a fantastic.
2015 was garbage.
I take it back. I think it might be 2016. Let me look up that.
It was one of those.
No, it might be.
No, it was 2016. No, it was 2016.
2017.
2016 is terrible. This is the most notable games: Overwatch, Uncharted 4, Titanfall 2. I guess Dark Souls 3 as well. Doom. But after that, it's like the rest are just all indies, or which there's nothing wrong with indies. I'm not saying there is, but there's no like heavy hitters or anything crazy. 2016 was the actual worst year for gaming.
Huh.
I mean, any year you have where Overwatch wins Game of the Year, just fucking tighten the noose immediately. God damn.
Well, it was new at the time.
I mean, I don't think there was any bad year. Like I'm going down the list. I'm seeing games that are great. Like
there was some good stuff. I
loved The Last Guardian. I loved Gears 4.
Last Guardian.
I loved Twilight Princess Port on Wii U.
Beautiful.
Most underrated Zelda, apparently.
It is. I wish people loved that game. No one was talking about that port because no one ever loves Twilight Princess. It just doesn't get the love it deserves. Mary, I still think it's so weird that you genuinely think that people love Twilight Princess.
Yes!
When all I hear is hate.
All I hear is love.
Comparatively, it sold super well when it originally came out because it came off of Wind Waker, and there were all the babies going like, "Wind Waker,
we want something serious."
I want realistic graphics."
It was a Wii launch title, and then it was released on GameCube like a month later. So it was
I had both versions.
I had it on the Wii, and as I said, like I played a couple hours, and I was just bored out of my mind and never touched it again. So.
Damn, man. You got to go back one of these days when it's ported to Switch. Come on, get through the first
Never
few
gonna
hours.
happen.
If it's like actually bundled with Wind Waker, I would consider it. But we shall see.
Yeah. Anyway, what were we talking about? The next game on the list. We're done talking about Pokemon coming out in a few days, basically, which is crazy.
Yeah, 3 days.
I'm not getting it. Dude, there's too many games right now. Pentiment, friggin' Somerville. I'm at the very end of Xenoblade.
Are you really going to play Pentiment, though?
Yeah, it's Obsidian.
waiting for
I'm
that
at least
from
going to try it.
Really,
I was
bro?
waiting for that from someone.
It's Obsidian. I'm at least going to try it for sure. And I looked at the...
I'm at least going to try it for sure.
I read the ESRB rating just because I was like, I wonder how dark this game gets, and it looks like some pretty messed up shit in the game.
It's like some straight up Game of Thrones shit. Like, it didn't say like decapitations and like
there's like
all kinds of crazy like
stuff I can't even say on the podcast because we'll get demonetized.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it, but I was like, I probably should hold back on it.
Yeah, hold back. So yeah, I'm actually pretty interested in that. If it's like a game where it's like an adventure game and I don't know where to go at all, I might just play through it with a guide just to see what the story is. Because Obsidian, they don't fail. I mean, have you played the Stick of Truth, South Park? Anyway, let's move on to Midnight Suns, the next game on our list, coming out December 2nd on all platforms. Is anyone excited for Marvel's
It's
Midnight
not on
Suns?
all platforms.
Oh yeah, the Switch version got delayed. My bad.
Well, I think.
Oh yeah, and the PS4 and Xbox One. Yeah, my bad.
Only new gen and like PC.
So it's coming to Switch next year, maybe even the year after
Probably.
if we're lucky.
At some point, forgetting last gen, and we can call things on all platforms going forward will be the norm, but we're not there yet.
When it comes out, though, it's gonna look like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but like the PS2 version.
Yep,
Jesus
exactly.
H.
I mean, I don't know. I can't believe it's native. That's surprising. Just like Hogwarts, both native Switch games.
Well, we have yet to see what Hogwarts Legacy looks like. On the Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We already know, John. We've said this. It's going to be the fucking Lego
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
No, it's gonna be the PS2 Harry Potter Sorcerer's Stone game. It's gonna
the
gonna
PS2,
reuse
and
those
that's right.
graphics. Yeah, and they're not gonna draw any attention to it. They're just gonna be like, "Here it is. You guys have waited patiently, and we thank you. Here it is."
Like nominee for Game of the Year 2023. Buy it while you can.
God.
Speaking of Game of the Year stuff, we're actually going to get to that later in the show. So we got to get through this list. Marvel Midnight Suns.
I'm hyped for this one actually.
I think I am too. If Brett's willing to go halvesies, I might end up getting it.
Oh my god!
But if he's not, I might wait for a sale.
Do we know if it's like a $40 game or what?
No, it's probably 60 or
So
70.
it's a full price.
It's got to be a full price game. Yeah.
I mean, it's
This
more
is the XCOM people.
Brett, I'm not sure how up to date you've been on this game, but it seems like there's a lot to it. Like there's all types of different characters. Like you have like a home base where you like form relationships with them, and it actually affects like the battlefield and like certain moves you unlock, kind of like Persona. So that sounds really cool to me. Like you have these relationships with Marvel characters. Unfortunately, you can't romance anybody, but I'm sure you can be really good friends. And you can be friend zoned by Spider-Gwen. I don't know. I couldn't think of anyone. But yeah, it looks like it's pretty deep. So I'm pretty interested. John, thoughts?
I've actually never played an XCOM game because like when strategy games are like really hard strategy RPGs, like I just typically don't bother playing them because like I'd rather just play something that doesn't make me feel bad about myself.
Right.
But this game, well, we don't actually know what its difficulty level is yet because it's something new. But like it actually looks fun. Like a lot of people were so turned off when it turned out this game is going to be card-based combat, and I was among them. But then when they actually released like, I don't know, like a 20-minute video just sort of like showing off what the game actually looks like, I thought it looked pretty fun. Like,
and
I
the
think
card
this could be a
stuff doesn't
good
seem
Marvel
that
adventure.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
The card stuff doesn't seem that crazy. It seems like it's pretty simple when it comes to the card system. It's basically XCOM with Marvel characters, but there's also a card system that like introduced as well.
Yeah, I think they said that there's like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 different types of cards, and you play them, and that's the game. Like, it's like, cool, all right.
And I could be wrong, but I think this is technically Spider-Man's grand return to the Xbox platform because it's the first game that he's been on Xbox. I'm surprised Spider-Man's not a PlayStation exclusive in this game. So yeah, if you Xboxers want Spider-Man, you finally got him in Midnight Suns.
Yeah, gosh, it got me thinking now. What's the last time Spider-Man was on there? Was
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
When did
unless you count like Lego games, that's probably been sooner, but
Probably
no, I was thinking
Xbox
of
360.
Fortnite, that's a good one.
wait, where is it?
Eric's right. He's in Fortnite, so I
Yeah,
take it all
that's
back.
true.
Oh, let's,
But he's
We
just
don't
a skin.
count
that
Fortnite
doesn't
is a-
count.
He doesn't
nobody
count.
cares about
Yeah.
It's
that.
just a stupid skin.
Okay. So his most recent Xbox game was probably actually Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which nobody played.
Yes, that sounds right.
So there we go.
I actually was
Fortnite.
interested in seeing what that game's story was like because I heard it was insane.
Yeah, that does sound fun, like Mega Man X hanging out with Captain Marvel and crap. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We're never gonna find out. We're not gonna
No,
spend. The
we're
time
not gonna
to
play it. I haven't even
Legend
played the
Marvel
actual
versus
good
Capcom.
fighting game stories that I have. Like
Right.
I own the Mortal Kombat games, I own the Injustice games, and I start the story and then I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Every year, Dragon Ball Fighters will go on sale along with one season of the DLC, and because of all of these Christmases, I own like the entire game, and I've never played it for longer than like 10 minutes. Like I don't think I've ever gotten out of the training mode, but I own everything. I have Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Like it's all there. Just haven't played it.
But you're happy knowing it's there, kind of like Netflix. Like you don't use it that
Exactly.
much, but it's there, and you're happy knowing.
Yeah, I'm like that kind of Dragon Ball fan. I just like knowing I've got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can respect
Um,
that.
But yeah, Marvel's Midnight Suns looks pretty interesting. I'm excited for it. If Brett goes halvesies, I'm buying it day one. If not, I'll probably wait for a sale.
Yeah.
I just want to know like how difficult it's going to be because like John said, like games like this, if they're super difficult or just like make you feel like an idiot and they get frustrating, and I'm just like, fuck it. It's like Mario plus Rabbids. Like I don't play those games either because I know that like he gets like there's a super high difficulty spike, and to me that's a turnoff in a game like that. But
Well, maybe they'll have like where you can just
They'll
like
probably have an easy
experience the
mode.
story mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I
that's
mean,
what
the
I'm
story
saying.
does look kind of deep. So
It does. I don't like
Yeah, the
that your
story stuff looks
character
cool.
is a created character. I kind of just wish you could just play as one of the heroes and didn't have this random character. But
it's like the Mortal Kombat movie that just came out. They just
Yeah.
made up like a random dude.
Cole,
like, why
that's the
couldn't the
guy's
movie
name.
have been around about Scorpion or Sub-Zero? Why did it have to be some made up dude? Like, what the hell?
yeah, do you remember his superpower was Nike Under Armour with a police baton? What were they thinking?
sponsors.
He literally has plot
Sponsors.
armor.
Yeah.
Well, he felt like exactly what he was. Like he felt like a fan fiction insert character where this is one thing I can honestly say I never did, but it's really popular in like fan fiction written by young people to like insert yourself into the story and then make yourself amazing. It kind of felt like that with this Cole character in Mortal Kombat. It's
Yeah,
like,
but then they didn't
here's our
even make
brand
him
new
good.
Yeah,
Well,
he was
well,
kind
I
of
mean,
just a douche the whole
when he-
time.
But when he finally gets his power, it's like the most
Right.
OP power. Like anything you do to him, he can
Right.
absorb and send it back
Right.
at you. Like, what do you do against that? You know?
They had such an opportunity because he was the old Scorpion was his ancestor. So you would think that his power would like move forward like
Yeah.
with like
Kinda
his
like
lineage.
mimic
So
that a little.
that section where he's fighting against what's his name, the big guy, forearms, Goro, is that his name?
Goro.
Gordo.
You don't
he's-
remember Goro, man?
Yeah, Goro.
Yeah.
He's fighting
Gordo?
him.
The fat guy?
Not Gordo from Lizzie McGuire.
Not
Goro.
King Gordo, man.
No, he's fighting him, and then you see Goro running toward the camera to go kill the two girls that are scared. And I was waiting for all of a sudden, like through his chest or through his mouth, you see the freaking the rope or the snake or whatever he uses to go through it, and then he says, "Get over here," and then he throws it back. That would have been freaking amazing, but no, he's like, "Wait, let me transform into my under armor and let's fight." That's all that happens.
Yeah.
You're under arrest.
Yeah,
I
bend over.
Whoa!
Mortal Kombat.
Sorry.
A brilliant piece of art.
Bend over here.
That's funny. 4 arms too. A lot of stuff you could do with 4 arms. All right, let's move forward.
What
to,
are they? Tell me.
Get
tell
a
me
lot
about
of
this,
people
Brett.
involved.
You could hold 4 people up and spin them in circles.
You could super hug 4 people. Yeah, that's right.
Super hug. What do you think I was talking about? I was talking about, playing games and stuff. All right.
You could shake 4 people's hands. Like, you can do a lot.
Yeah. You could definitely shake 4 hands at once.
2 high fives, 2 low fives.
Right.
Yeah.
So the options
Mary,
are
you gonna throw something in here or
I had something that I forgot it.
Say it.
No, I forgot it.
you could do pull-ups and push-ups at the same time. Work them out all at once. All right, let's talk about the next game, which is not a Nintendo game, but the one after that is. This is the only one that's not coming to Switch, surprisingly. No, there's 2. My bad. I didn't see the last one. This one is Callisto Protocol. The spiritual successor to Dead Space is finally here. EA's like, no, we don't want that single player money. Let's move on with multiplayer games that fail. So they did that, and then this team was like, you know what? Let's make a new Dead Space game, but call it something else since we don't have the rights. And that's what they did, and it looks freaking amazing. I cannot wait for this game, coming out December 2nd. Mary, are you going to play this since you love horror games?
No, actually,
Come on.
I may or may not have pre-ordered the Dead Space remake.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
So,
Which is basically, I guess
Yeah.
you can't say it's the same game because they have a lot of differences, but there's a lot of similarities too.
I'm ready to be scared though. I don't know.
I'm
Callisto
excited for
Protocol
both.
though, I'm like, it looks so swishy, and now I'm thinking about Dead
Yeah.
Space. I'm like, that's also gonna be like squishy.
It's going to be squishy too, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, it looks like every step you take, you hear like slimy stepping on.
Yeah.
Just gonna hear your little feet just.
You're
Very,
gonna be
like,
playing
what-
Resident Evil like right after that too.
Yeah. It's going to be Horror Central from December to February.
Mary, what got
She's
you
going to
to,
get PSVR 2 and play Resident Evil 8.
Yep.
Someday.
What got you to
Thinking
like
about
turn
it.
that corner and like start playing some like horror games, even though like you had never done it before?
When did it? I think it started with Resident Evil 4 actually. Yeah,
Went
like
full circle.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Resident Evil 4, someone was like, it's not that scary. Wrong. I was also a big weenie back then though, because
It's
put
scary
that
in a
game,
different way.
I
I
put that
think it's
game
pretty
down for
scary,
5
yeah.
years because I got scared.
Yeah.
Like I started it, put it down for 5 years, never touched it. Finally picked it back up, and I was like, okay, I can do this. And I was like, this is actually like really good. Like I had a lot of fun. And I was like, maybe I should play more Resident Evil games. And I kind of started going into that. Phasmophobia, though, I will not play. I cannot do ghost games. It's too like the hearing the sounds, like the breathing. I don't know. Like ghost games really scare me. But yeah, it's all thanks to Resident Evil 4.
A great one to start with, but it's
Some
never
people would
been.
call it the king of
It hasn't been
spooky games.
topped ever since you played it, right?
Resident Evil 2 remake came very close.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
That's solid.
it was very, very good, I think. And I like the puzzle aspect too of like the Resident Evil games. Like it's not just like constant jump scares. I get to breathe a little bit and then also think and feel really stupid sometimes, but yeah.
I've been
Yeah,
wanting
close-
to play through 2 remake again, but there's just so many games. It's like
Mhm,
there's no point.
yeah.
What were we gonna say?
I was gonna say, but yeah, Callisto Protocol, nope. But here I am, Dead Space remake.
So wait, why did you choose Dead Space remake over Callisto?
So I have a redemption on my own like Twitch channel that if you save up 100,000 channel points, you get to pick what game I play, and someone picked that one.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
Wow.
Greg.
I mean, what?
That's funny though. But yeah, Callisto Protocol looks awesome. This is from what's his name? It's escaping me. I say it all the time now.
Yeah.
That guy.
Is it Glenn? Glenn something?
Glenn
Schofield?
Schofield.
Glenn
Schofield,
Schofield. Yeah, so he's pretty iconic. He's done a lot of big games, and now he's back basically in the Dead Space world making this game, and I'm excited for it. I watched like a documentary after I played Dead Space 2 on like the making of the game, and he just seems like a very smart dude who I would love to just hang out with and like pick his brain about everything video games. Because
And
So do you
so
foresee
funny-
this?
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, do you guys see this or foresee this becoming a franchise, or do you think it stops at Callisto Protocol?
Depends on how well it sells. That's the
Right.
thing.
Yeah. For
But
sure.
I mean, like,
I
they
almost
didn't
feel
make
like-
it to sell well, or not. I wouldn't say with that in mind. I would say they made it because, EA wouldn't revisit Dead Space in the way that they wanted to, progress the
Right.
series. So they ended up making this. I see it continue on even if it doesn't sell well.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe if it's not even like Callisto Protocol 2 or 3, or like it's not like a trilogy, it could be like the base for like a universe, of some
Well,
sort.
So that's what I was
100%.
going to bring up. It's so funny to think that originally this was going to be tied to
It's gonna-
PUBG.
PUBG universe.
Oh my god,
Like,
that's
that is
right.
the most
It
random
was going to be
shit
set
ever.
in like the far future of the PUBG universe. This
I
I'm
forgot
glad
about
they
that.
disconnected it. Yeah.
Thank
like
God, because that totally discredits like the fear of the game, like knowing that it's outside whatever factory he's in. There's people hitting each other with fucking pans in their underwear.
Yeah.
Ding. I think that's
I
kind of
mean-
where like what's that one? Vermintide, like those series of games, like they're actually pretty damn good, but they all exist in this, I think, the Space Hulk universe, if I'm correct. But I feel like they tried so hard to separate themselves from by doing like these like generational games that are like much different than each other, but then like no one's really like die hard into those like to the degree of like I guess other AAA games. So I think maybe that's a good decision for Callisto Protocol not to go that route, because like just be their own thing, and I think that's what's going to
For sure,
really help
yeah.
them sell well.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a super impressive game for being the studio's first game, right? I believe it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's from the publisher or the owner
of
of
PUBG.
PUBG. So
yeah.
they got if those multiplayer games have to exist, I'm glad that they exist to fund games like Callisto Protocol.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Because you know that this game was made with PUBG money for sure.
That
dirty
PUBG money.
Next game on the list, we got Crisis Core Final Fantasy Reunion coming out December 13th. I'm really excited for this one, but mainly for other people to play it because I just played it right after I played Final Fantasy VII Remake. So I'm not sure I'm gonna like play this one day one, but I probably will end up playing it sooner or later. Like once I've forgotten some of it because it's pretty recent that I played it all. But it's a very good game, and this remake, even though they're not even calling it a remake, it looks like they've done a lot to make it look better and play better, like mechanics wise. Like just looking at the dodge animation, when you did like a dodge in the old one, there'd be like a pause, like you jump, dodge, pause, then you can run again. And this one, it's more fluid, like you jump, dodge, and you just keep moving like that, which I think is really cool that they made little tweaks like that to the gameplay. It's not just a makeover. Last of Us, right, Brett?
That's right.
But yeah, I'm excited for other people to play this. John, are you going to play through this?
Yeah, definitely. I'm probably not at launch though, just because like there's so many games coming right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like I'll probably end up playing it like in like January or February, unless somebody wants to
played-
give me a review code. Then by all means.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
played Crisis Core though,
Yeah,
right?
I played the original on PSP. It was awesome. I loved it. Like the main character Zach ended up being my favorite.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, that's it. I'm excited too because I know of Zach from people talking about this game, and like I'm a Final Fantasy VII fan, but I don't know like hardly any of Zach's story. So this will be cool for me to play this for the first time. Definitely, yeah. I'm absolutely going to play it.
Yeah, it's
I'm still. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say quick that one of the things I really enjoyed about like there's like a million like little optional side quests that's really just like quick fights. Really, like there's not like any big story. It's just you fighting stuff, and it's like fight challenges. And if you do a ton of them, you can end up being like so massively over leveled for the story, which is what happened. So like I just got to have fun in the story, demolishing everything because I was so much stronger than everything in the story just from doing these little optional side fights. So like I hope they didn't rebalance any of that because I want to do exactly that all over again. I want to just kill like a million things at the start of the game and then bulldoze the whole story. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. One thing I'm still salty over, and I'm pretty sure you guys know what it is. They decided to recast everyone with Final Fantasy VII Remake. And with this remake, or this remaster, whatever you want to call it, they actually had all the new actors come in and replace the old voiceover. So every character in this game is by a new actor. So now it's just kind of strange. There's like two versions of this game with totally different casts. That rarely happens. Usually if it's a remaster like this, they'll just keep the old voices. They wouldn't just straight up replace everyone.
That's actually surprising.
Yeah.
And it's all because of that dude who I sent you guys a video about, someone on the internet who other than me cares about this kind of stuff. And they made a video talking about this guy who like came in and took over for Square Enix when it came to all their performance stuff, like their marketing, their voiceover, all that stuff. And he has done this before in previous franchises. He comes in, recasts the characters, gets more like not A-list talent, but like more popular actors to come in and replace them and use that as a reason for the game to be like, they use it in their marketing. Like, look who's in our game. The guy who plays Superman plays Sephiroth. So that's awesome, right? So yeah, that really pisses me off because I mean, if you're going to recast everyone, I want to say I appreciate their willingness to be like, this is what's canon now. This is the definitive canonical version of these characters, these new voices. I appreciate that because I like continuity. I like how it's the same voice actors from Remake are now in this. But at the same time, at least let there be an option to play with the old voice actors like as well, because those actors like voice these characters. Like, this was their game. Imagine their excitement when they found out that a game that they were in was getting like a full-blown makeover by Square Enix, and then they found out, what? They're redoing all the voices of everyone who did the game? Like, why? And when you listen to the voices, it's like they sound so strikingly similar that it's like, why did you even do this? Like, what was really the point of this? You just spent so much money for no reason. And a lot of the times, I gotta say, the old voice cast is better, especially Zach, which I've sent Brett clips.
Isn't
the old
Zach's
Zach
new
sounds
voice
better.
like really like deep and like bro sounding?
No, that's more of his old. Oh, it was kind of like his new voice sounds a bit more feminine, based on what I've heard, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But once you know a voice and a character, it's like, I don't want it to change. That's who Zach is. So yeah, but they all sound very similar. I'll give him that. But then at that point, it's like, why did you do it then?
Maybe they asked for too much money.
And that's my rant.
That's usually it.
They did not ask for too much money, these voice actors. They definitely spent more money on the dude playing Superman and what's his name from Breaking Bad? Weasel or whatever, Badger.
Badger, yeah. Weasel.
That iconic Breaking Bad character.
Yeah.
Weasel.
Old squirrel.
I can't believe they killed Weasel in the first episode. He could have been a legend.
Yeah.
Speaking of Badger and that character, what's his name in the game? I forgot.
It's
Wedge. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Is it Wedge?
So. That sounds right.
He was supposed to die in Remake, so I'm curious how much of a role he'll play in part 2, because he dies in the original game like early on. So I'm surprised.
I'm thinking we're probably just not going to see him again, except for like a cameo at the end or something.
Okay.
Because I mean, we're not headed back to Midgar anytime soon, so
maybe he went with him. Maybe he found him. I don't know.
Better not have.
I
playing-
hated his character model in Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like,
I liked it.
There's so much of that game I loved, but I hated that character model. I don't know. It annoyed me. It didn't work for me for some reason. I
You're
don't know
prejudiced
why.
against bandana wearers.
I thought that it
That's
matched
it.
his voice very well. I thought his voice matched him really well. But that's just me.
I don't have a strong opinion on the subject of Wedge.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's like some like super important character, so it doesn't matter that much. But yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, this game looks awesome. Mary, are you gonna pick this one up?
Yes. I have not
Oh,
played
sweet.
the original.
Oh,
So-
great.
First time playing.
Have you? But you played a remake recently.
Last year, yes.
Okay, and did you play the original Final Fantasy VII?
I have not.
Damn.
I know.
So,
It's
on-
I own
So go
it.
do that.
I haven't played it.
Unless they've changed something, Crisis Core and Final Fantasy VII Remake are not gonna line up.
no, at all.
Okay.
Nah.
That's
Okay.
the issue. Yeah,
Well,
you kind of
but
almost
but
have to
will
play
give
Final
you,
Fantasy VII.
but it will give you some context to some things that happened in
Well,
Final Fantasy
see,
VII
that's
remake.
the thing, though. It kind of looks like they even changed some of that. Like, I don't know. I
But
don't
like
know.
Zach was, what I'm saying is like Zach was in Final Fantasy VII remake. You saw him briefly. You saw what happened. And when you play this game, I'm not going to spoil nothing, but you'll see that things don't always turn out the same.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
But I'll just say real quick, in Final Fantasy VII Remake, what's the bad guy evil doctor? Is he Dr. Tojo or
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII, was it that? Hojo,
Hojo?
that's it.
Hojo,
Professor
yeah.
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 Like, if you've played the original game, you know that Hojo knows Cloud. But in Remake, Hojo doesn't act like he's ever seen Cloud in his life.
Yeah, that is weird.
So yeah, so like I really wonder, like they might have changed like a lot. But we'll find out.
I still think since they're doing this remaster right around the time these remakes are happening and they're recasting the characters to make it seem like it's really well connected to remake, like why not just tinker with it a little bit? Be like, yeah, okay, so this is the secret, cat's out of the bag. This game does connect to remake. Like I kind of hope that there is that, like at the very end, maybe something that's like this is what's happening in remake, like a hint, because it's still all very confusing with Zach stuff and remake.
Yeah.
And I kind of hope they change it. Like since you already the original exists, you already were willing to throw away the old characters and voice actors, and you're connecting it to remake by doing that. Why not have them like connect a lot better? Like they could change this game to make it connect better with remake. But I think they already said they're not doing that.
Yeah, apparently not.
So that's weird. Maybe they are lying. Maybe it's like an end credit scene. I don't know.
I don't know. But
They could
I
be.
support their decision.
Next up, we have the game of the year, High on Life by Squanch Games, Justin Rowland, the creator of Rick and Morty. It's a new upcoming first-person shooter, kind of, but it's also looking like it's kind of Metroidvania-y. That's weird to say. Looks like you're going to be unlocking new abilities, getting into new areas. You got a hook shot. You got talking guns. The comedy won't be for everyone, but I think it seems pretty funny so far. I'm very much looking forward to this game. It looks way better than their past VR games, like visually and just like gameplay-wise. It looks really strong in my opinion. What's the hype level on this, you guys? Greg, you excited for this?
Yeah, I never thought that I would like Rick and Morty or Solar Opposites or like any of these like shows that Roiland, right?
Yeah.
That's
Roland.
Roland.
I don't know.
Roiland.
Yeah,
Roiland.
and I'm just like, God, I hate that the writing is so good, or God, I hate the way the jokes land so well, and like, I don't know, it took me a little bit just to like sit down, watch them, enjoy them for what they are, and they're pretty damn good. And so like when I saw this teed up, even in the initial reveal, I was pretty excited for it, and this definitely looks like a game that I'll at least play through once and actually sit down, play, and finish. And especially for like just to to turn my brain off and play something that's so stupid and fun, I think that's what I'm most looking forward to, and I am pretty hyped for this game.
What if it turns out to be this super deep, like complex story? He's like, just turn your brain off and play this dumb game.
I mean, if you watch Rick and Morty, there are some complex issues in storytelling, like hidden in the
For sure,
in the show. That's like super silly. So I wouldn't be surprised if this game, while being
it's like a humor
comedy,
smart too. Like it's goofy,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
smart. You know.
I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of it you care about the characters and you maybe there's some emotional scene or something. But I guess we'll have to see. Maybe they just went balls to the walls comedy and there's really no serious stuff. Either way, I think it looks really good. I think I love the art style. I think graphically it looks really impressive. Is this a current gen only game? I can't remember.
I
can't
thought
remember.
Is it really?
I know it's going to be on your favorite service ever, Xbox Game Pass.
There we go. Someone else said it.
Oh, okay. Apparently,
Did
it's
we
just
need
PC
to?
and Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only on
PC,
PC
Oh,
and
shit.
Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah,
so.
that was
Please have
always
cross
the plan.
progression.
But it is on Xbox One. My bad. I thought maybe it was not. Greg, I'm sure
Running at
it'll
720p.
it should have cross progression if you buy it through the Windows Store.
See, that's what I thought about, like Yakuza 0, that Yakuza 0 had it, but it does not. I was
really.
pretty upset about that. Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll download it here, start over there, and I was like, oh, my save file's gonna go through. But you know, if it does feature that, it's like one of my favorite things to do. Is like, you know, it's time to chill out in bed and step away from my desk and go lay in bed and become a vegetable and you know, boot up my Series S and just play there. So hopefully,
Well, I'm pretty sure Microsoft is doing some type of funding with this game, with it being exclusive and whatnot. And I don't even see Steam on the platforms list, so it leads me more to believe that it will end up having like cross save with consoles on PC.
give it to
But
me.
I don't know. But yeah, I think it looks really fun. Mary, are you going to play this one?
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. Because like I did get to play the demo a couple of months ago, and like
Oh yeah, hands
yeah.
on.
Oh, that's right.
I
forgot.
got to go hands on with it, and like it made me laugh out loud, like with the writing and stuff. And that was something that like I was really surprised at. Like I like that kind of humor already anyway, but to be
Yeah.
laughing out loud like at the jokes as I'm playing, and like I like the colors of it, and I feel like that kind
Yeah.
of that colorful of a game could get really overwhelming, but it doesn't feel that way when you're playing it.
Hmm,
So
that's good.
Yeah,
to know.
I Brett knows this. Like, I love like really bright colors in games, and it's got a really like satisfying aesthetic to it with the colors. Like, yeah, from that standpoint, I think it looks like really like I'm looking forward to it. They're in just like what was it that we saw, like the gameplay preview of it? I can't remember what show, but there were a couple jokes that like I was trying to be like critical of it, and it actually made me chuckle. So like if I was trying to like to not laugh and it still made me laugh, I think I could probably get behind some of the humor. Like anytime you make a butthole joke, you've got me. Like
Got him by the butthole.
Yeah.
I think
I might enjoy it.
I also think a challenge that Justin Roiland has to overcome is that while Rick and Morty has a lot of fans, it also has a lot of people that hate Rick and Morty fans.
Yeah.
So they don't even want to give them like the chance to like something that's similar.
Yeah, but does he need him really? Like,
I mean,
Nah.
oh yeah, but
I don't know.
one thing to note is that this game, during like one of the showcases, like Brett was talking about, the trailer for it actually ended up doing insane numbers. So I think this might actually end up, if this game is great, it might end up being like a huge hit, which would be great because I mean, when's the last time Xbox had an exclusive game that was a huge hit? Forza Horizon.
When's the last
Like-
time Xbox had a game? I'm
Yeah.
clever.
Sony pony
No,
over here.
I'll have you know, sir. Excuse
John
me,
did my
sir.
dirty work for me. I was going to say that.
I'll have you know, the Halo Winter
Brett
update
puts the
just
gun
launched. The winter update, you guys.
But I
Xbox
wanted to
fans
say,
be like, but Forge.
Hey, Pentiment, 10 out of 10, IGN, only on Xbox. There we go.
One thing I wanted to say just about the aesthetic of this game,
it's Obsidian. What? Sorry.
That's
I was-
true.
I was-
No, you know what? You know what? I'm
Brett.
fine. I don't.
I was
know.
responding to
Greg,
Brett.
Me and
I'm
Brett
sorry.
were having our daily fight about Xbox and PlayStation. Okay?
The one thing that I wanted to say about the aesthetic of this is like, yeah, it is like pretty colorful, and like that. I was thinking about this while you guys were talking, but I think it does a really good job of driving home immersion. It's like there's so many unique, different, colorful things happening on screen that you don't want to break your attention away from all the like shit that's going on. And I think that does, it does something important for the immersion of the game. It keeps you locked in, paying attention, because you don't want to miss a joke or, something that happened, or even like this scene where he's watching the TV, like, what the fuck is going on? And at least for me, my train of thought is easily broken. So I feel like that's going to at least provide me with like, hey, like, look at all this cool shit happening. You're going to miss something.
My only concern with this game, and I've said it before, is how often your gun talks, or if like what your gun has to say doesn't get old fast. Like it's fine if your gun talks like throughout the game, but like if it starts to do that thing where like it repeats a lot of lines, like while you're shooting, like, oh, looks like you got a headshot, and then like 2 minutes later, looks like you got a headshot. You know what I mean? Like there's some games where like
looks like you got a headshot.
Yeah, like,
over and over.
So if it's like you start hearing repeating lines from your gun, that's going to be like, okay, that wore its welcome out really fast. So that's my only thing. I'm wondering if that, like, how that's going to work. If that's going to get annoying. If it's going to, if it's going to feel fresh the whole time. So.
Yeah. I will say though, like just looking at this footage, I personally think that this game's visuals look like it has an extra layer of polish. Like for a smaller team, this is really surprisingly great looking. Like in the gun animations, they all look like super good and funny. So yeah, I'm like really looking forward to this. I like the art style. The comedy has been fun. I think it looks great. And there's a hook shot, so day one buy, or it's on Game Pass. So day one play.
And that's the other thing too. Worst case scenario, you didn't like pay additional money for it, right? It was
exactly
included with Game Pass. So worst case scenario, it sucks. Oh well, you didn't pay $60 for it.
Yeah, that's the worst feeling, paying $60-$70 for something, and then like Brett, I'm being honest. If we didn't go halvesies on Gotham Knights, and I paid $70 for it, I would have been pretty disappointed.
Yeah, that would have been rough. Yeah, for sure. Like it's sometimes I feel like it's a godsend that like we do game share, because there's been a couple games that I would have been disappointed. Returnal, I would have been pissed off if I spent $70 on. Gotham Knights, there's been a couple that I'm like, it was fine for what it was, but I'm glad I only spent 35 or 30 instead of full price. So yeah, for sure.
Anyway, me and Brett are best friends, if you guys didn't notice. I'm just kidding. But yeah, okay, we finally got through all the games. God dang, see, this was supposed to be a 15-minute opening topic, and look at us
Brett said
now.
we're going to do this in an hour and a half. We're going to go a minute over tonight. And I was like, all right, cool, we can do that.
There's so much news that I'm like, God damn, do we just hop into what we're playing at this point? Because otherwise, we're not even going to get to what we're playing.
Honestly, there isn't really a lot of news. Like,
do you see the breakdown Eric gave us? It is insane.
Yeah, but most of it doesn't really matter.
Okay, how about I just go down the list? I'm just going to go down the list, and then we'll get to what we're playing. Nintendo is suddenly updating online games with netcode. Actually, Eric, I don't even understand your notes sometimes.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, this is a good one. Ash Ketchum finally has become the champion in the anime, which has been going on for almost 30 years now, probably. So shout out to Ash for finally becoming the champ. He finally beat the Elite Four or something. I don't even know what the anime does.
Whatever. Yeah, he beat somebody.
I bet for someone who has been watching the anime like this long, it was probably like a huge moment that they couldn't believe that Ash actually won. But for me, I mean, I watched the first few seasons, and then I didn't. I watched the movies, a few of them, and then I grew up. Yeah, and then I stopped. But I did watch a few.
Pokemon is for kids.
Greg, it's for everyone, just like Mario. But yeah, other than that, Splatoon 3 broke broke expectations, sold 6.7 million in the first month of release. That seems like it's old news. I thought we already knew that.
Well, we knew like the first few days. I don't know if we knew like how well it did the first month, right? We knew like it broke like the record for the first few days in Japan, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
I saw so many people streaming,
which is still crazy.
I was like, why?
Yeah, that's still wild to me. Like,
some good news: no plans from Nintendo to raise hardware prices despite inflation, so that's great. I think that the Switch OLED being priced at $350 right now is a bit high, but you know, it's good.
There's
let's see.
No way they're moving that number. It's never coming down.
Miyamoto talked about backwards compatibility, about how it's much easier now.
Yeah. So like it kind of sounds like maybe Switch 2 will have backwards compatibility. Like frankly, at this point, yeah, it would be a deal breaker if it didn't. Like that's just like the expectation now.
If it didn't, I don't know what I'd do.
I mean,
but
like,
then he couldn't
like,
sell Skyward Sword for the fourth time for $60.
Yeah,
like the Switch has such like an absolutely massive install base. Like there'd be like it wouldn't make sense to not have access to all of that content in a Switch 2. Like,
yeah,
I just wonder what the future of Nintendo is. Like, I try to like wrap my head around and like, okay, this is what maybe Nintendo will do next. But then I look at, you know, the Wii, or even at the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, and then I look at the Switch and like how different each system has been, each iteration. I'm like, what could possibly be something that they introduce hardware wise that makes sense in the Nintendo universe, where it's like something new, it's innovative, but also has the ability to, you know, have these playable games, you know, be backwards compatible. And like, I don't, then again, like, I don't think I would have ever thought of something like the Switch that would have been,
right,
you know,
or
a mobile device that you could dock, or the Wii.
It is time. So, I feel like Nintendo has broken the mold so many times. It's pretty amazing what they've done. They always take chances with their consoles, and sometimes like the Wii U, it completely sucked. But like there's been a couple times where it's been just something very special, like the Wii U that was so different from what we'd ever seen, and the Switch that was so different from what we'd seen. It's pretty
ballsy though, too. You know,
it is.
Put all your eggs in one basket and just bet it all.
I was going to say something that was nice about the Wii U though, Virtual Console.
Yeah, they did it better than what they're doing now.
Yeah, like, you know, I think
that
I
worked
have
too
more...
well, so it ain't coming back.
Yeah, worked too well. I know, disappointing. My Wii U probably has more like Game Boy games on it than it does like actual Wii U games.
Mine definitely does. Has all Virtual Console stuff.
Yeah.
It's a great platform for that alone. Like the Wii U has amazing games on it because of that catalog of games of all the retro titles. And there's also some good Wii U games, but
but it was nice to be able to get a hold of those for like $10, $12.
Yeah, really
sometimes
cheap.
As low as like 7 or 8, you know, depending on the sales.
I got a question for you guys. Do you think Nintendo is going to do some type of crazy hardware thing again, or do you think they're going to stick with traditional stuff now, because porting the Wii games and the DS games is just a weird like thing, because there's 2 screens, then there was motion controls, and then if they keep doing these wacky controls and stuff, like it's just going to hurt them in the future when it comes to reselling old things. Or do you think they're not really worried about that?
It seems like they never care about future proofing anything. They're just like, we're just going to do what we want and just make a fucking $1 trillion and then we're going to do the next thing. But I've been thinking about that recently, because we're obviously due for the next thing. It's either going to be like the Switch Pro, Switch 2, or something completely different. So I don't know. The idea of what they're going to do next is always exciting.
Mary, what were we going to say?
I was like, yeah, sorry. I kept stepping on top of you. I think they're too focused on being, or not too focused, more focused on being innovative than they are preserving like previous hardware and previous games, because like you said, like they do all these crazy things. Like the Wii had like the nunchucks, it was motion control, the DS had the dual screens. All of those were so innovative and so like like at the time just like mind boggling. Like everyone's like, oh my gosh, motion controls, oh my gosh, a handheld with 2 screens,
Yeah.
that it doesn't
It
translate.
folded.
Yeah, it doesn't translate
has a
onto their
microphone.
new hardware though. Like, how are we
Yeah.
going to have another virtual console without having this extreme list of accessories to go with it? Like,
Yeah, I
you
think
have
they made
to
a-
buy the Switch nunchuck to play your Wii games that you have to buy again, probably.
Yeah.
I think that was a
So-
pretty big statement, though, having the NES Mini and the SNES Mini. It just like proved like, hey, like, even though from the Wii U generation on, we focused on releasing libraries of backwards compatible games, whether that's in virtual console or some compilation. Like, we don't even need our main console to sell our older games. We could just introduce these mini consoles and put them out, and they'll sell like hotcakes, and we can still focus on being innovative in the meantime.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, Nintendo's really weird when it comes to basically every choice they've ever made. So they're unpredictable and we don't know what they're going to do ever. And that's kind of why they're so exciting and they're so different. And yes, they take advantage of their customers, but we just bend over and let them do it. So let's just.
It's cute when they do it. It's not cute when other companies do it, huh, Brett?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Definitely not.
It's a me, a Mario. Give me your wallet.
I feel like Nintendo's slogan should be "No fucks given" because they just don't they just do what they want,
Yeah.
and whatever happens, kind of thing.
I still think it's funny whenever Nintendo was asked about Microsoft's purchasing all these studios. Sony just bought Bungie. Like, are you guys going to get into the game and start acquiring a bunch of studios as well? And they were just their answer was so like, no, like why would we even do that? Like what? We don't need to do that. We're Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's just kind of funny. They were just like
it's-
flabbergasted at the thought of like, why would we start doing that? Like we're doing perfectly fine. We're number one on right now.
They're
on the top.
literally playing a different game than Microsoft and Sony. It's like you almost can't even like consider them in the same like video game world. It's pretty wild.
It is crazy how they are playing a different game, but there is still a lot of bleed over with most games. Like the only games that don't hit Switch are like super AAA games that literally cannot run on the hardware. But a lot of games end up coming to Switch, and like a lot of people are buying those games on Switch, which I think is what Nintendo is actually surprised about. Like from the very beginning, even Skyrim surprised Bethesda on Switch, like the sales, and it's like I just
It took
don't
a
think
long
anyone
time to get to Nintendo
expected.
platforms though.
It used to be you buy a Nintendo platform to play the Nintendo games, and I feel like now a lot of people either only have a Switch and only play their games on Switch, or they have a Switch and other consoles, and they're actually thinking, maybe I should just get that on my Switch since I'll have it portably. Yeah, it'll look a little worse, but hell, I'll just have it. I'll have it on the go, so it's worth it. Like with Midnight Suns, if it actually looks good and like doesn't look that bad, I mean, why not? I don't know. It's a
because
tactics
a game like that
you know?
is like a game like that is like you can go and lay in bed and play an hour before you fall asleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so that's a perfect game to play undocked on your Switch. So yeah, I totally know what you mean by
Especially
that.
if it has touch controls. I mean, you're just tapping a card, tapping your character,
Right.
moving them.
They never
yeah.
really do that, but that'd be cool if they did.
I keep wishing that Like a Dragon was on Switch because that's a game that I always like. Oh, I wish I could go to bed and play another hour of this because it just
You
seems
need a
like something that would
backbone.
be so perfect. I know. If I had a backbone, I could play it handheld mode. But
JRPGs, there's no better time to play them than when you're laying in bed right before you go to sleep.
yeah,
But yeah, let's get on to the next topic, which is, man, we have like, I don't want to go over that much today, but okay.
just
so guys,
go
we
through
got
the list and we don't comment on any of it, and then we'll do what we're playing or something.
Do you guys want to talk about what we're playing, or do you want to do the Game Award nominations and talk about those?
For new Game Awards. I didn't play a lot this week though. So
Yeah,
Okay.
we can talk about Game Awards.
One
Okay,
time
the
I
Game
played a
Awards.
different game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll do a quick thing at the end, just like 1 minute each. We talk about it and then we say bye. Okay, so the Game Awards got their nominations. I'll start at the least important, which of course is Best Family Game. But one of the games of the year were a part of it, which was Kirby and the
screwed.
Forgotten Land. Got
Yeah.
screwed.
So
How
hard.
is Stray on Game of the Year list, but not Kirby. What
Man,
is
fuck
wrong with
Stray.
these?
Okay.
I'll never get over that.
that.
Stray was so fine. It was perfectly
Yeah.
fine, but it wasn't like Kirby. Like, come on, it wasn't Kirby. Kirby was amazing.
Fantastic.
It was
It
a
was.
pure joy from beginning to end.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that won over all of us.
Yeah.
Literally.
My when I'm thinking about what makes a game good, like my way of kind of like gauging if I'm enjoying a game is when I'm not playing it, am I thinking about that game? And every second that I wasn't playing Kirby, almost literally I was thinking about it, like about playing like another session or like a session I had just played. There wasn't one time, and I liked Stray. I probably would give it a 7 or an 8, but there wasn't once that I found myself like, I really would wish I could sit down and play some more Stray right now, ever. Like, and I was always my entire playthrough session of Kirby was wanting to play more of it. It was just, God, it was so good, and like it's such a slap in the face to Kirby that, to me, and this comes from someone that enjoyed Stray. I actually come to Stray's defense to some people that said they didn't like it, but I think that being a nominee was just a joke.
Yeah. And
Take
and
that,
next to
developers who worked really hard on that game. Bunch of idiots.
Which I feel bad because I also
idiots.
love Annapurna. I love Annapurna to death. So
they're
it's like,
just a publisher though,
it's
so
like-
they don't count.
right, but I mean, you don't see a lot of Annapurna games getting the like Game of the Year love. So, but yeah,
I
don't
think
know. I
if
felt
there
pretty
were
shitty about
an
that.
indie game to get Game of the Year love, it would probably be Annapurna behind it because they know how to pick and choose. Like they're really good at
They're the A24 of
finding
video
talent.
games.
Yeah, they are literally. It's a perfect example.
Yeah.
But yeah, next to Kirby on Best Family Game is Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Splatoon 3, and Nintendo Switch Sports. Yes, you heard that correctly. Every single game is Nintendo.
It's Nintendo.
Yeah.
Hey,
Nintendo
Pretty much always
category.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
They dominated this area. I don't think Switch Sports should really be up there. I felt like it was really lacking content and just
Yeah.
I didn't really think it was super fun. I was hoping they would have fleshed out some of the previous games a bit, but they're pretty much the exact same. Like the bowling's the same as Wii bowling. The fencing, like the
bundled at all?
sword fighting, was the same. What?
Has it been bundled at all?
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
So
All that
Best-
game does is break people's TVs. So, I'm not really
You act like you're speaking from
too big on
experience.
yeah.
yeah.
I gotta find a different list because this one doesn't have like everything on it. I just realized that. Like, I think only some of them are on it. Game Awards,
I dropped the
From that
link.
category or
all
For
of
which
them.
ones?
Like, for all of them, like best multiplayer game only has one game.
Check the chat. I dropped the link to the Destructoid article that lists them.
Yeah, I have one at the Escapist I'm looking at too. So for multiplayer, it's Modern Warfare 2, Multiversus, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and Shredder's Revenge.
that's going to be
Shredder's
Multiversus.
Revenge?
Mhm.
Interesting.
I didn't
I
think,
think
Shredder's
Multiversus
Revenge
is
even
going to
the-
win that one hands down.
I-
Still
I-
chaotic.
Multiversus has been doing good.
Which one?
Multiverses. I was gonna say like
Yeah,
that one's.
I
I've
think
heard a
that
lot of
one's gonna
people
win.
playing that one and talking about
It,
it.
it,
like, they're
it was
excited.
just it was such an out of left field surprise
Mhm.
for so many people. It's almost got to win.
I think they're adding Marvin the Martian and like you
Yeah.
said, like a Game of Thrones
Yeah.
level.
And can't you be like like fucking Gus Fring? So you could be like Gus Fring
That'd be
versus
awesome.
Arya Stark versus fucking like
Doug.
Garfield or
I
something.
don't know.
Something
Yeah, where the fuck is Doug at?
Is that WB? I don't even know.
No.
I just-
I can't play as Skeeter.
That's Nickelodeon.
Oh man, can you fucking
Oh, okay.
Skeeter.
Or wait, is it? Oh wait, well it changed hands. So ABC probably owns it, like Disney rather.
Yeah, there's a lot
okay,
of
that sounds right.
there's a lot of IPs that are in that you can implement. It's pretty cool.
All right, guys, we just got no time. Like, we just talked about one
Yeah.
for like 5 minutes. So I'm gonna go down the list and just talk about them a little bit, and then see if you guys want to say anything. For best strategy game, we got Dune, Spice Wars, Mario plus Rabbids, Sparks of Hope, Total War, Warhammer, 2 Point Campus, Victoria 3. That's
Whatever.
one of the awards that they're going to ignore in the actual game awards. They're
Yeah.
gonna say
Where's
it like randomly.
Stray?
We already did best family game, best adaptation. I mean, who really at the Game
cares?
Awards? At
It's
the
a
Game
good
Awards.
category.
cares?
I don't think they need it.
And
They did.
Uncharted got nominated.
Yeah, come
That's a
on.
movie that deserves
Sonic 2 better
awards.
win it all.
This is
Win it
just
all.
all of
Yeah.
the ones that
Sonic-
existed.
Run, my
This
boy, run.
wasn't.
Yeah.
This isn't how it like Uncharted. Like it was. I actually enjoyed it, but like an award, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Most anticipated game, we got Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and Tears of the Kingdom. Those are all games I'm really looking forward to. So
There are also games that
that-
were mostly on last year's vote.
Right.
Of
Yeah.
course.
That's what's funny.
This is the third year for Zelda. It's just been under a slightly different name every time. It was like the
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild sequel, the sequel to Breath of the Wild, and now
Oh,
it's
again.
True,
Zelda
yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom.
These awards are so
It-
stupid.
Yeah.
Now
Let me
this next
say-
one is
they
even
really are.
stupider.
Quick, that the Game Awards are meaningless nonsense. I
They're
put no
dumb.
stock
Yeah,
in
just
them
to be clear.
whatsoever.
We
I know,
could
they're
have a better
stupid.
award
Absolutely
show.
nothing
They're
but
dumb.
hostilities for the show, and I always have had this exact same
The
attitude.
unhinged rage and hostility towards
No,
the
but guys,
I think
John
good-
Frisha, indie developer.
if I'm being honest, guys,
Indie developer John Frisch.
he's 100% right though. Like there is nothing important about these awards. They are
For
just
sure, yeah.
YouTubers and like people who write for certain websites that vote on this
Yeah.
stuff. And they're not important. They don't have any authority over anything. They're just as important as you. So if you don't agree with them, it really doesn't matter because all of it's really stupid.
Yeah.
So best fighting game. This is how stupid they are actually. For an example, for best fighting game, they have Sifu, an action game, a single player action game.
They do
in the
not.
best fighting game category.
They
Yep.
do fucking not.
That's what I mean by stupid.
Sure
So
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
enough
never noticed
people
that. Wow.
nominated this. What? How do you work in the industry if you consider Sifu a fighting game?
Yeah, if you don't even
And
know
how can
game
that
genres.
things.
How can that many people be involved and not one person called them out like, hey guys, that's not a fighting game, so that's a big
Yeah.
mistake.
Like,
This
I
is
mean,
like-
That's
if they
What?
really wanted, they could like make like a separate brawler genre, though there's not necessarily a lot of brawlers that come out every year that
Right.
have that degree of notoriety.
Yeah,
is
it
kind
should
of a
just be
weird
under
year.
You
action.
should have a
Yeah.
brawlers and beat 'em ups. That could be a separate
Yeah.
category. That's
Yeah,
where Ninja
but,
Turtles
I don't know.
belongs, I think.
It should be under action adventure, but for some reason, Stray is in action adventure. Anyway,
Again, who likes Stray?
critics love that artsy, high budget indie game. It's like four genres. You got the Sifus, which are like the roguelites. You got the Souls games. You got the extremely high budget indies. Not indie games in general, but these really high budget ones that like these people review and they're like, oh my god, it's amazing because it's artsy and has good music and the graphics are so good. But
Like
it's an indie
Celeste?
game. Yeah, like Celeste, like stuff like that. Even though that's pretty low budget, but it looks beautiful for what it is. But yeah, stuff like that is what I'm saying. That's like the what's the equivalence? I just said in my video the other day. What's the movie awards where it's something bait?
Oscar bait.
Oscar bait. It's the video game equivalents to Oscar
Yeah.
bait. These genres
That's a
and
good
these
way of putting it.
styles of games. So yeah, anyway, for best
so
fighting.
if somebody approached you, Brett, to cast your vote for one of these genres and they invited you to be one of the people that contributed to this, would you stand in protest or would you cast your vote?
I'm flabbergasted that I'm not invited. I'm just kidding. No, but I think it is weird that Destructoid's not a part of it. That is very strange. I don't think The
Yeah.
Escapist is either. I don't think PC Invasion is.
I
Like,
think
but
Your
Upcomer
opinions are too
was last
strong.
year. What the hell's up with that?
I don't understand it because
Snubbed.
when you look at a brand, like I'm not trying to compare who gets more views or anything like that, but it is important to note that we see smallish YouTubers on these things getting to vote when they don't have as big of an audience. They don't necessarily have more cachet than an entire website like Destructoid.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they don't get as much eyes. They don't like.
But Ninja knows a lot about video games, Brett. Okay.
I don't even know if Ninja is even one of
He's
them. I
probably
doubt
not.
it.
He's probably not. I'm just joking.
But I mean, there are some others that it's questionable. Like how you're literally on here because you have connections, not because
Right.
you should be.
Yeah.
Time to tweet.
But
Geoff
then again,
Keighley.
these awards are stupid. Like John was saying, they don't matter.
The-
They're
The only thing I care about is the freaking trailers for the new games.
Right.
That's the only reason I watch it.
Well,
to be
no.
honest.
that are buried like 12 mobile games deep.
But no, I do enjoy the developers that get to win their awards. Like, I think they deserve
that's
awards.
cool.
So I'm glad
No,
this
like-
exists for them.
But
But I just mean the actual voting process and the people who vote. It's
Yeah,
like
for sure.
it's stupid. Yeah.
A sham.
And
Well,
there's cool
and-
moments like Joseph Ferris last year when he won. Like that was awesome seeing that. Like,
Yeah.
but a lot of it is just like a big circle jerk. You know.
Yeah, and one thing that pisses me off about the show itself is that like they don't even like respect the people that win these things because there's awards that
don't.
they announced during the pre-show.
There's awards that
Yeah.
they
Show that people
announce-
aren't even watching.
Yeah.
And probably over half the awards they just say randomly, and the person doesn't get to come up on stage.
Yeah.
They don't get
Yeah.
like to talk. I like watching that stuff. I like seeing them say thank you. Like cut out half the ads and add thank yous. Like that would make the show way better.
Yeah,
But
very.
yeah,
weird.
Jeff's not going to do that. He likes
I
his
don't think
ads.
that's anything new to award shows, though. I mean, that's the same with like Oscars and shit. It's all
Yeah,
fluff.
but it's
and-
supposed to be different. I think that's the premise of it all. Is like,
Yeah.
you know, this is supposed to be about video games and the
it's
people that
not
created them.
Hollywood. Yeah,
And it's-
yeah.
I
for
mean,
sure.
it is, but it's not though. Like Jeff
Jeff
obviously
Keighley has
wants
like a
wants this to be
fascination of
Hollywood,
actors.
Jeff
Yeah.
is
He
making
does.
a Hollywood. Yeah, no.
and now he just added a best adaptation. Really, that's just so you can get Tom Holland to come and hang out at your award show. Like that's
He
the
wants
only
to get
reason.
Vin Diesel back.
Yeah,
yeah, Vin
He's
Diesel's gonna
obsessed
be
with that stuff.
there.
Tom, I have a weird request. Can I smell your armpits, please?
I just don't know if like does Jeff realize that, dude? Video games are bigger than movies. You don't need to try and turn it into a movie ceremony, which is basically what it's becoming, and a music ceremony where he's got freaking Imagine Dragons playing every 5 seconds. It's just, we don't want that. Nobody wants that. Literally no one.
Yeah.
We like gamers want to see these developers get their awards. We want to hear their speeches and watch them nervously talk about the game they worked on for like 8 fucking years, so we can be proud of them. And then every once in a while, we want to see a new trailer for a game that's a real world premiere, not a world premiere for a game that was
Yeah.
announced like 6 years ago.
You're not-
That's getting
yeah,
a
you're-
new trailer.
That is one thing that's been bugging me, even like with E3, was they think that if you're showing like something
Anything
new, on
new,
a game, that
anything.
you've already seen that's a world premiere. No, that is a world premiere means no one has seen this ever before, not just seen a new portion of the game. Like, no, you'd stop with that.
He just decided to call
premiere.
everything world premiere. It doesn't mean anything anymore. But yeah, best RPG, we got Elden Ring, Live Alive, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Switch dominated this category as well. Holy shit.
True.
1, 2, 3, 4 games are Switch only games. That's insane.
And I love that Live Alive is their remake of a Super Nintendo game.
Yeah.
The game was really happy. He retweeted it on Twitter.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, I think Elden Ring's gonna win, but at least those other games got some
Probably
spotlight.
Yeah.
Best action game. This is probably where Sifu should have been, but it's not. Best action adventure game. We got
Oh, you
A
mean that
Plague
fighting
Tale
game?
Requiem. Yeah. See, but here's the thing. Is there even an action? Yeah, there is a best action category.
Yeah.
There
There's
is.
action
And Sifu's
category.
on it. Why is it in fighting?
See, that's literally what
telling
Sifu
you.
is an action
Sports
game.
Because
They
you
already
punch
know the
things
winners.
in it.
When I
The
think of
fighting
action game, I think of a game like Sifu, like Bayonetta 3, like even a game like God of War, but they got Call of Duty Modern Warfare on here. It's like, I mean, I guess, yes, it's action, but I don't, that's not what I think of whenever I think of an action game.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But first, best action adventure game, Plague Tale, Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. Mary, I know you're happy about seeing Tunic on there, right?
Yes. Very happy.
That's dude. Okay, Tunic is another game I could have
snubbed.
swapped out for Stray and felt better about that.
Yeah.
Stray's very good, but I'm surprised Tunic wasn't mentioned more for some reason.
So
Like,
many people were
Yeah, like,
high on
best
Tunic.
art
Like I almost
direction.
felt like I didn't hear people talk about Stray almost at all. I mean, it had like a week where a bunch of people
Yeah.
streamed it.
Yeah,
but
it was
people have
popular for a
talked
minute.
about Tunic all like it's like,
Yeah.
for months now.
Yeah.
Like Stray kind of came and went, and like Tunic has had staying power. Like people still talk about it to this day, like how unique it is and this and that. Like
Tunic benefited from releasing on multiple platforms and then getting a resurgence with the Switch release too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like the Switch release was
that's a good point,
later,
yeah.
so that actually worked in its favor in a way. Whereas it got released on like Xbox Game Pass, and then later in the year, here's the Switch version, and it kind of reminded everybody, oh yeah, like I haven't gotten around to playing that yet. I could either get it on Switch or I can go play it like on Xbox. So
Yeah. But next up, best action game, we got Bayonetta 3. I think that's deserving, even though I would say Bayonetta 3 disappointed me a little bit. I think it's still a very solid action game with some great moments. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, I think that's a little weird. Neon White, I've heard great things about. I'm glad it's getting some recognition. Sifu totally makes sense right here. And then TMNT Shredder's Revenge, I'm glad it's getting a lot of recognition during this award show.
no, that's cool.
Yeah.
If that
Content Creator of the
Turtles
Year, we
game
got to talk
wouldn't
about this
be
one a
there.
little bit. You guys might remember from a few weeks ago, Nebellion decided to leave Twitter because he tried starting a Patreon and it failed because he technically didn't offer any content, but he wanted to hopefully
He
try and
just
get some
wanted
people
everyone to pay for it.
Yeah.
And he wasn't
he's
doing
actually
anything.
so despite not actually creating any content, he is up for Content Creator of the Year at
It's
the
like
Game
they ran
Awards.
out of ideas or something. They're like, Nebellion.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, this
Twitter.
is people. He's not even around anymore, so I'm wondering, like, is he gonna come up on
that's
stage
weird.
if he wins?
Yeah.
I don't think
this
he
would-
would because he was
this is
faceless,
like-
wasn't he? Like
this is
Yeah,
if at Burger King, if the actual Burger King, if he was like nominated for like best king in the world, if he was nominated but he quit Burger King before that they nominated him for best king.
I was like,
Like,
he's
that's the
gone.
Analogy.
Even if you consider what he did on Twitter content, he's not doing it anymore. Like he's
Well-
done.
Right, yeah.
and I was thinking about it too, like they do different things on Twitter, but like Wario64, do we
Thank
consider
you,
that
Greg.
a content creator or
I mean, no, I don't
Well,
consider
that's what I'm
Wario
saying. It's
64
almost
content
the-
creator.
They're almost like the exact same thing. But I think Wario 64 does a little bit more, but they both are more kind of like
News aggregators.
news
Yeah.
regurgitators, which is kind of a rude way of saying it, but that's kind of all it is, though. You know,
Yeah.
But he actually has like Wario 64 has more value because he literally is so fast with deals
for
and
sure,
sales
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
like you
Um,
literally can follow him just to find deals on things, which is why he
Dude,
has more value for sure.
Literally last night, I bought a remote for my Xbox because he tweeted it out and said, "This remote's only $10." I'm like, hell yeah, I might as well order it.
Yep. I got Sonic
So,
Frontiers for $40 a couple of days ago because of
yeah.
Wario.
Amazon.
Yep. Yeah.
I got it from Wal.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, content creator, no, Nebellion. I have no idea who any of the other ones are, and I don't even
No.
care, frankly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think
There's
that's kind of funny.
Medlock, Destructoid.
Wouldn't that be something? I wish.
That'd be crazy.
Then the awards.
I
would
know
matter.
FaZe Clan.
Yeah, they don't matter. It's kind of like when you I don't know. Never mind. I don't want to bring it up on the podcast.
It's like when Burger King.
Yeah, it's like when the king hired. The Burger King is real. I'm not gonna go over VR games. No one cares.
Nah.
Debut indie games: Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, Vampire Survivors. Oh, I've heard great things about Vampire Survivors, but that's very recent. Oh wait, no, it was on PC, I think. So
Yeah.
it's very recent on Xbox.
Mhm.
That's
And it seems like it.
I hear it's like
Eric
ultra
Frisch's like,
addictive.
Yeah,
yeah, he's like talks about that game quite a bit.
I need to try that. I just downloaded it, but I haven't
Or
played
Eric,
it.
I just
There's
called him
so many
Eric
games.
Frisha. Like,
Yeah, you gave me a new brother.
God, I
Eric
got two
Frisha?
people's names mixed up. Like,
That's funny.
Eric Freshly. I'm sorry, not Eric Frisha.
That's funny.
Anywho,
Best community support: Halo Infinite. No, I'm just kidding. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final
Yeah.
Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. Those all seem like good picks. I don't. Those
Yeah,
aren't my
whatever.
style of games, though. Those are
Yeah.
stupid.
Apex Legend wins. I'm getting my
Those are
nipples
stupid,
pierced.
Greg. Quit talking. Those are stupid.
What?
We both said
Plot
what?
twist? His nipples are already pierced.
Yep.
If
next.
Apex Legends wins, you're getting your nipples pierced.
No,
Yeah.
God, please no. It looks painful. Too painful. All right, next up we got Best Mobile Game. Apex Legends Mobile, Diablo Immortal, Genshin Impact, Marvel Snap, Tower of Fantasy. I feel like most of these games are games I constantly hear people talk trash on, so I'm surprised that they're in this list.
Marvel
Isn't
Snap is
Genshin
actually
Impact
surprisingly
like 2
fun.
years old?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, it's
any game can
years
win
old.
if it's a support game, like if it's a service game.
So
But this
Actually-
is mobile, right?
yeah.
What's his name? Jeff Keighley even said any game can get nominated even if it doesn't come out that year. It's just up to the people voting. Like he
Oh.
actually said that.
Oh.
Because the year that, what's it called, the game where there's like the little people that are like, it's like the kids game, you're like,
They're called
these-
midgets, Brett. Okay, not little people.
no, that's offensive, Brett. There's
I think it's the opposite of what you
Yeah.
just said.
I know, I'm kidding.
the
It was a
people
joke.
in the
You
little
just got banned in
space
the chat.
suits, the little space
Among
suits.
Us.
Among Us came out the year before,
Oh,
but it
yeah.
wasn't popular until the year after that, so it still won like awards that year.
I think
Anyway.
he uses that justification because no one cares about mobile, so they already have a hard enough time coming up with 5 games to put on a list. So he's like, "Yeah, a game came out 5 years ago. It's fine. It's for the people. Whatever the people vote."
Yeah. Best independent game,
that's
Cult of the
dumb.
Lamb. There you go, Mary.
Yes.
Neon White, Sifu, Stray. There you go, Brett. And Tunic. There you go, Mary.
Yeah.
This category,
You know,
like I
Tunic
was
has
the most
gotta
happy
win that.
for. I was like, out of all the categories, this one, I was like, this feels like a really solid category. I feel like every game deserves to be here, you know, like
That's the only one where it feels like that.
I don't know. I just really like the way that category looks. It just makes me happy. All those games
It
are
looks
great.
good. But you know what it's missing?
Elden Ring.
I was gonna say Halo Infinite, but yeah, that's a good one.
He was looking for a way to throw it in there.
But
Ben's
yeah,
got your shoehorn.
games for impact. Hey, I actually played some of these. Actually, I've only played 2 of them. A Memoir Blue, I played that, and As Dusk Falls, Citizen Sleeper, Endling, Extinction is Forever, Hindsight, and I Was a Teenager, Exocolonist. So yeah. All right, moving on.
Didn't you say a memoir
Best-
blue was kind of boring?
Memoir Blue was fine. I mean, yeah, it was boring, but that's sort of the whole point.
I mean, it's really
Like-
short in the first place. Like, I don't know, 2 hours or something. So like, you're not
Yeah.
losing much of your life. So I
Yeah, it's like an
enjoyed it
hour
for
and a
what
half.
it was. It's very artistic. It's very
Yeah.
thoughtfully created.
And it like, based on what I took from it, like, it was actually a pretty good story, even though it was very like artsy, not like head on
There's
with
no
like
dialogue.
what's happened. Yeah, it's all
Oh, there's
it's all
no
like
dialogue,
picture
okay.
images and that kind of
That's
stuff.
pretty.
But innovative and accessibility. As Dusk Falls, God of War Ragnarok, Return to Monkey Island, The Last of Us Part 1, and The Quarry. Out of these, probably The Last of Us Part 1 did the most. It seemed like they went
Probably.
nuts.
Yeah, that's what
Um,
it always sounds like.
I really liked As Dusk Falls on streaming because they made it so it was fully touch enabled, even though it was a console game. But you could use it like it was a phone game, even though you're streaming it technically from an Xbox. So I thought that was really neat. And then Ragnarok, I didn't really mess around with anything, and I didn't play the others.
Ragnarok's got a ton of options. It was just
Yeah.
like overwhelming to the point where I was like, I can't even I don't even understand half of that.
Actually,
It's
no,
pretty
I
wild.
did.
List.
I did turn something on in Ragnarok. After I'm done exploring, I made it so if I swipe up on the touchpad, it tells me where to go, like the direction I'm supposed to head in. So I'm like, oh hell yeah, this is great. It's kind of like a BioShock arrow, Brett. If you ever want to do that.
I did not know that was an option. That's going to be the first thing I do when I fire it back up. No joke. That's cool.
Yeah. Best audio design: Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Forbidden West. Any of these stand out to you guys?
I don't know why Forbidden West is there.
Yeah, audio design, it has pretty good. I mean,
It's
I don't
got pretty
know.
good sound design, but I don't know if anything
I honestly
stands
think-
out.
out of
Yeah,
the ones I
but-
played, Modern Warfare 2 had some really good sections that sounded really good, but I don't really have much of an ear for it.
I think the parts where you're like shooting the machines and like the pings of the metals and stuff like that sound pretty cool on Horizon Forbidden
Yeah.
West, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't have expected that to be on this list though. No.
Yeah. Like I just don't remember anything being like mind blowing from it. Like, yeah, it's good, but it's good. Not
Yeah.
Yeah.
great.
A lot of games are good. Yeah.
Best score, we got A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Metal Hellsinger, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the GOAT. Xenoblade's going to win this one.
I heard the score on Xenoblade's really good, right?
Oh, I love it. John didn't like it that much. I freaking love it.
Sucked.
John's up there,
Absolutely
just
love
going,
it.
you motherfuckers.
I just thought it was a step down from the first two. Like, not very much of it was that memorable to me.
Damn, that's so surprising. Like, every time a song plays, because when there's emotional scenes, it constantly reuses the same songs for all the time. Yeah. And every time they hit. Like, I feel emotion because of the songs. I'm like, damn, this song's so good.
I do have to say, Plague Tale had some really good music too in like different parts of the game where it was pretty impactful because of the music. So I like that's there too.
There's a really good list, I think. I haven't played Metal Hellsinger, but I heard that Serge Tankin from System of the Down really helped a lot on that game.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure.
Oh, no way!
It's really
That's
good.
cool. That's cool.
And Plague Tale is good. I'm sure Elden Ring is good. Next up, we got Best Art Direction: Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Scorn, and the only acceptable category, I'll allow it, Stray. Stray looked beautiful, like the art direction, in my opinion.
Oh, you're on art direction. I was looking at the wrong one.
And Scorn did as well. Scorn's actually really pretty as well. Even though there's not a whole lot going on, it looks like visually really pretty, but it's probably going to be Elden Ring. Even though Elden Ring looks substantially worse than the rest of these games. Just saying.
It just looks very unique.
Yeah, like that's what this is all about. Like graphically, it might not look as strong, like texture wise, like down to the actual like textures, but Elden Ring does look really different for like an open world game. There's a lot going on. But yeah, no one has anything to say. So best ongoing game: Apex Legends, Destiny 2, The Witch Queen.
Get my nipples
Shut
pierced.
up, Greg.
Put barbells in those some bitches.
Fortnite, Genshin Impact. Let's go ahead and give it to Final Fantasy. I'll just say that one's gonna win.
I'll get a Jacob's Ladder if Final Fantasy wins, Greg.
We're almost done, you guys. We're almost done. Best multiplayer game: Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Multiverses, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and TMNT Shredder's Revenge getting another nomination. I want TMNT to just win all these.
Game either, but I guess.
I mean, it's co-op.
It's like a co-op multiplayer, but when I'm thinking multiplayer, I'm not thinking of like co-op. I mean, I'm thinking of like competitive multiplayer more. Right. I'm thinking of God of War Ragnarok. I
mean, what they should do is best co-op game and then best multiplayer game. And if it's a game that has both, then they should be able to be nominated for both.
No, that sounds like a real award show, and this is not a real award show.
Yes, exactly.
Or just
this is an award show where they call Sifu a fighting
category. Game. Like that's so vague in the first place. Like
true.
That's just so much could like be called multiplayer technically.
Yeah.
This next category, I gotta say, I'm pretty disappointed in it because I feel like there was a lot of games that had great performances this year, and I feel like this is so bland. Like, just of course these are the people. Although one of them I'm very happy about, and the other one I haven't played. Anyway, Ashley Birch, Horizon Forbidden West.
You didn't say what the category is.
Oh, best performance, my bad.
Best performance.
Ashley Birch, Horizon Forbidden West. Charlotte McBurney, A Plague Tale Requiem. Yeah. Christopher Judge, God of War Ragnarok. Manon Gage, Immortality. And Sonny Soljic from God of War Ragnarok. That's Atreus, I believe. And
what a sick-ass name, Manon Gage.
Yeah, that is cool. That's the only one that I'm not sure about. But all these other
Immortality?
Ones, it's that
FMB
point and click
game.
FMB.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's right.
The guy the person that made Telling Lies. This is his next game.
Oh, yeah, I do remember.
And
piecing
what's
together 3 movies. Yeah.
Her Story, was that the first game he did?
Yeah, never played it.
Me either. I couldn't get into Telling Lies.
Bored me, so yeah.
I couldn't get into that or Immortality.
I just didn't bother with Immortality, but yeah. Somebody
it's not my style of game. I just got to accept that it's good, but it's just not for me,
I just happen to like games that are well made.
Yeah, same. Like fun games. Ones that have fun involved.
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't want to play God of War. I get it.
But yeah, I just feel like, Ashley Birch, Christopher Judge, Atreus, that's just a little, you got Xenoblade that came out this year, a brand new like cast of like young actors who probably just got their first role, and I think they all knocked it out of the park, but no one else cares.
I think the kid that played Atreus and I'm not on it, so I can't say their names, and the girl that plays from
Amicia.
Amicia. I think one of those.
Yeah, she did really good. Yeah, I really hope one of them win, to be honest. Ashley Birch, I'm pretty sure she's already won a ton of awards, and I know Christopher.
I kind of over Ashley Birch. Like, I think she does a good job, but my God, I'm tired of hearing her name. Like,
I've heard
she's
her.
Like she's like the Laura
so
Bailey, the Troy Baker. Like, just tired of hearing their names all the time.
Now that I've watched Mythic Quest, well, actually, I'm all up to speed on Mythic Quest. Like, I only associate her with that now.
Yeah, same. Because honestly, they all are like a bit more picky now with their performances. Troy, Laura, and Ashley. Like, they're not in every game like they used to be because they're well known and
they slowed down
and they can be more like picky. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up. Best game direction. This I like how they sort of put emphasis on these final two with the best direction and game of the year. Like, apparently this best game direction is like a huge award. Like, they specifically
like best director. Like,
lumped it in with game of the year, which I think is really cool. And the games nominated are Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, and Stray. I mean, this seems like a meh list to me. Like, people probably think we're ridiculous.
Seems like there's so many other games out there that could have got nominated, and like we just keep seeing the same names.
I mean, I would say Elden Ring, without even playing Elden Ring, I know everything. Well, I don't know everything, but I know a lot that it brought to the table that was brand new and different. I think it's probably going to win. I think it's probably deserving of it. I feel like God of War and Horizon Forbidden West are just more of the same, which isn't a bad thing, but it didn't really wow me. Immortality and Stray, I just don't even have an opinion on it, to be honest. What about you guys? John?
Meh.
Meh on all of them?
Immortality, I have. Sorry.
Yeah, like, again, so of this list for best game direction, I've played Horizon Forbidden West, and that's it. And that game bored me, so I don't really have any strong opinions here. But I'm just operating under the assumption that Elden Ring is gonna win like the vast majority.
Elden Ring's gonna win every fucking category it's in.
Yeah.
Someone in our Google Doc put God of War is gonna win Game of the Year. I don't think that's even close to true. I think it's gonna be Elden Ring. It's gonna get like Elden Ring's gonna be like The Last of Us 2 from 2 years ago. It's gonna win like every goddamn category possible.
Yeah. I think Ragnarok will get swept under the rug.
Yeah.
I think people are just like high on like God of War Ragnarok just released
it's new,
less than a week ago, and it's
bias.
they're like, oh, like that's it right now. I'm like, did y'all forget already what a huge deal Elden Ring was? Like when it released, like
I wouldn't be totally blown away if Ragnarok won, but if any game other than Elden Ring or God of War won, I would be completely blown away. But it's going to be one of those two games, and I've got like 90% sure it's going to be Elden Ring.
Yeah,
it almost feels like the other ones were put in there just because they had to put 4 more games in the list. You know, not like they even had a fucking chance in hell of winning.
But let's get to the Game of the Year category, which is we got A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Oh man, Xenoblade Chronicles making it to the Game of the Year list made me so happy, just because I'm happy for the developer, and hopefully like when people see stuff like this, they're like, man, that got nominated for Game of the Year. I need to play that. So I'm hoping that more people play Xenoblade because it's freaking awesome. And I wanted to give an update on this podcast on how far I am, because I think I'm at like the very end, John. Like
probably.
I feel like I'm very, very close to the end. I played for like 3 hours today.
Oh, nice.
So yeah.
Brett's playing that at the pace I'm playing Like a Dragon. Like I got really far in Like a Dragon, and then other games came out, and I kind of like had to put it in the back burner. So eventually I will beat that too.
I believe.
Yeah.
But,
And I believe.
I've taken my sweet time with Xenoblade, and like what's funny is like I've consistently thought it's been my favorite game of the year, even though I haven't even technically completed it yet. But there's just so many things about it that I like that I'm just like, I mean, it's already my favorite game of the year. Like, I don't think it's going to be topped unless freaking High on Life changes my life.
Yeah.
Makes me feel like I'm high on life.
Well, it is going to be an Xbox exclusive, so all bets are it blown your mind.
Xbox bias. The Xbox bump. No,
I do have to say, I know we've already hit on this, but for me, it was a pretty big bummer that Kirby got like completely
for real.
Yeah.
It was by far and away for me my game of the year up until I played A Plague Tale, and then it was like those two were neck and neck, and it was up in the air. I didn't know which one for me it was going to be, and like to know that it wasn't even a nominee was like pretty sad.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Stray above Kirby is a travesty, and we shall never talk about it again. No, I'm just kidding. But I think it is
100%.
Personally offended by that. Yeah,
it is ridiculous. Stray.
It's so good. Like,
so they have a pan. Okay, so they have like a panel of how many people that sit down and fight it out and say, okay, we have to all agree on 6 games, right? So
Well, it's voting.
yeah, it's
It's
just
not, that's not how it works.
But how many people are in this voting poll?
I don't.
Well, the thing
remember.
is,
like over
is that-
100 maybe.
Yeah, it's over 100 from various websites and
Okay, so
YouTube
so
channels.
that's
Which is
even
so
worse then.
small.
So that many people all had the same idea that Stray deserved to be a
No,
nominee
that's
for
not-
Game of the Year.
No,
They all-
they
they
didn't
all
all have the
vote
same
though.
idea. Yeah,
But what I'm saying is that many people were voting for Stray for it to be.
it
in
was the
final
6th
6.
highest voted. So
Right.
Kirby might have been just below it, but we don't know.
But that's what I mean. Maybe I'm not saying it the right way. But what I'm saying is like how it got
Dude,
high
people
enough
are
to be a
freaking
top 6 game. is
Love
beyond
and
me.
Stray. I don't get it. That's like I'm just in shock that Stray has a Game of the Year nomination. That is wild.
Yeah.
Like compared to the other games on the list, like Stray next to A Plague Tale, next to Xenoblade Chronicles 3, that's wild to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. Who cares? It's not a big deal either way.
It really
Yeah.
doesn't matter because none of the other games other than 2 have a chance in hell. So
I mean, if this list was exactly what I wanted it to be, it wouldn't even be fun to talk about. So I'm kind of glad that they're just bizarre putting Stray in the Game of the Year category because now we have something to be angry over. But
yeah.
Like if it were all up to me, I would probably just give Live Alive Game of the Year just for the heck.
I was
of
gonna
it.
say
Like,
it would be Live
not
Alive.
even saying like does it deserve it? Like I don't know. I don't care. I've just arbitrarily decided that's the one.
yeah. But all right, guys, this is basically the end of the show. Do you want to take a minute each to say what we're playing, or do you just want to call it and head out?
Yeah, Greg and I can bash Bayonetta quick.
All right, do Bayonetta real fast.
Go for it, Greg.
Yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute. I'm putting on a timer.
So really enjoy, I would start by saying that Bayonetta 3 has definitely grown on me the more I play it. But for every positive that I see in the game, I tend to find something negative that I dislike about it as the game progresses, whether that's character designs like Viola and her hair, god-awful hair, when I thought they could do such a better job. Then I find something like, some unique character, or like you're a fucking train and you have some like badass club, or I figure out you can upgrade your weapons. And then I get to this like challenge section where the game just controls so horrid and just so clunky. And, I'm at the level where I just finished the one where you are wading through the sand, and it's just like a super frustrating experience. When all the other levels I'm able to explore and find new stuff and discover new things and start to care for the characters. And it's just, I'm having such a struggle with liking it that I was thinking that it was going to go much further than just having.
I was waiting for a beep or something.
I'll finish with this. I was waiting for it to get much further than a 7 out of 10 or somewhere in that realm, but
Yeah.
it's found its way to just stay there. And I'm just kind of frustrated with that overall. I want to like it so much, and I'm still in the same spot I was when I started.
I listened to all of that staring right at the 10 out of 10 on Destructoid.com. But
And the bugs.
The bugs. But John, any thoughts
Jenka
on
Netta 3.
Yeah,
So-
really.
My attitude had been that I wasn't enjoying the game, but that I was gonna just like truck along through it anyway because I spent $60 on it and I should try to get my money's worth. But I played a level last night. It was the first Viola stage actually, and like I just by the time I got to the end of that thing, I was like, I hate this game. Like I hate
Oh
it
my
top to bottom.
God.
Like playing it feels like a chore. I don't enjoy any of it, like at all. So it's like I just like, the
Are you
whole
quitting?
thing.
You
Like
done?
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it like a periphery game, so to speak. Like maybe I'll play it like when I'm with family and I've eaten and there's not much to do but sit around. I'll play a level of that game.
So
like-
specific.
Yeah. So like the game is not a priority anymore. I'll probably beat it in like January because that's when I'll have like chip damaged it to death over time. So my enthusiasm for the game is dead. I think it's so weird that I love Bayonetta 2 so much, and 3 is like, eh.
Yeah. And there's your timer. Now we go on
He's
to
like, that'll be my Tuesday at 6:43 p.m. game
Yeah.
if I ever decide to play one.
Yeah.
Mary. Talk about what you're playing for 1 minute. Let's go.
I am playing Have a Nice Death, which is a roguelike 2D platformer that looks like Death's Door and Dead Cells had a baby. It's really cute. It's really fun. I'm enjoying it. Other than that, I traveled this weekend, so I get to play a lot of games. I just kind of booted up Genshin Impact because it was late one night, and I was like, I want to play something, but I don't know what to play. I was like, I can pick up and put down Genshin pretty easily. So Have a Nice Death and Genshin Impact. Those are my two.
Nice.
Genshin will win mobile game of the year. I'm sure.
Probably. Waifu's always
Yeah.
Waifu
win.
Hunter.
Yeah.
All right, Brett, you got 1 minute, and Mary had 15 seconds to spare, so I guess I'm not going to give you an extra 15 seconds. So just hurry
I
up.
won't need it because for the sake of time and for the fact that I haven't beat it yet, so I'll give full thoughts on it later. But up until now, if there's one image that epitomizes my experience with God of War Ragnarok so far, just go ahead and Google search the Randy Marsh from South Park with jizz all over him.
Dude, come on, you didn't have to say it. You didn't have to say the word.
Of the last week with
Demonetized.
God of War Ragnarok, aka
All right.
Game of the Year 2022.
No. All right,
No, I'll
I got
talk
1
about
minute.
it more once I'm actually done with it.
Yeah, for sure. I am also playing God of War Ragnarok. I think it's pretty good so far. I'm enjoying it. I think the story is really interesting. The writing is such a huge step above Gotham Knights. Cannot stress how bad Gotham Knights was. Jesus Christ, that writing was terrible. Bayonetta 3 had better writing than Gotham Knights, and that's saying something.
Mitch
But
Steiner.
anyway, but after playing God of War, it just reminded me that okay, video games can have really good writing, and now I'm about to play Pentiment, which will probably be even better. So, like writing wise, so I'm excited to just get that Gotham Knights stench off of me. Aside from that, I'm at the very end of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It is my game of the year. I can't see God of War surpassing it, but unless it really blows my mind. But Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is just an absolute masterpiece. I think everyone should play it. The characters, the music, everything is awesome. And aside from that, I started Persona 5 Royal out of nowhere just because I keep seeing it on the Game Pass screen. And I think I'm going to play it through it. I really think I'm going to play it through the entire game and before Persona 6, just like over the next year or so. And that's all.
I love on our Google Doc of games played. Brett's had like 9 games, and it's like, Jesus Christ, Brett, is there anything you haven't played this week?
Well, I didn't even talk about Ocarina of Time, which I also started.
No,
That's
that's
really
what I'm
fun.
saying. You left games off of your list.
I
There were
didn't
so
talk
many.
about Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, unfortunately, we got to head out. We'll talk about Sonic more next week. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Hopefully, next week, guys. How about we just do a what we're playing episode? You want to just do that? So we can finally just talk about what we're playing or just stuff that's random. Does that sound good to you guys?
Unless anything comes up that's like really big. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I highly doubt anything will, but you never know. But this has
see.
been Spot Dodge. Thanks a lot for hanging out. If you made it this far, if you're listening over on podcast services, be sure to leave us a review, leave us a thumbs up on the YouTube video, wherever you're consuming our content. We would really appreciate any type of engagement. It'll really help us out. And yeah, that's all. Shout out to Eric on the ones and twos for streaming the show from his supercomputer. And we will talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Eric, you're my boy Blue.